Domestic violence is one of Britain's most hidden crimes, with millions of victims enduring horrific treatments behind closed doors.
If I dressed like that when I was with him, afterwards he'd shout at me for being a slag and a slut.
Promises of happily ever after alternated with abject rage, menace, silent treatment and coercive control.
Worst case scenario is the number of women who attempt or go on to commit suicide as a result. I think the numbers are about 9 women a week, so it's a huge problem. And so it was a really difficult time for services, because we just knew that women were trapped and they felt let down, really let down.
It was during lockdown and they had seen such a surge in demand for their services. And what they briefed us on at Christmas was really about what happens to women once they leave a abusive relationship. And what often happens is that women who are survivors of abusive relationships have flashbacks. Whatever's happened to them, it just carries repeating over and over again in their minds. And that's what the therapy is there for. It's to stop that reoccurring nightmare, reliving the situation over and over again. That's what the Christmas campaign was about, raising money to stop that from happening.
When you first look at it, you see this perfect house with a fireplace. So the only thing really that is the nightmare is the editing and the sound and the repetition.
Yeah, it needed to be painful, it's and it's really hard because you're trained to not do something like that. You're trained to do something, that somehow sticks to certain rules of storytelling. But this one was, breaking them.
There's no off switch for sufferers of domestic abuse. Yeah. And I think that's what this film conveys. There feels like there is no off switch,
Yeah.
And yeah, actually, you know, the hope is, you know, through your donations, through therapeutic services, we can turn that switch off.
Make it stop. Stop women and children reliving domestic abuse and sexual violence.
I have a diagnosis of complex PTSD, and the film straight away, in a very direct manner, goes straight to the heart of what it feels like to have PTSD. The constant repetition of memories and feelings, it's so powerful. Like it made me well up, because I get it. I completely get it.
Make it stop was such a kind of great line to put at the end of it, because as you're watching it, you feel like, I want this to stop, you know, and I think that was one of our challenges, was, you know, how long we made this film, because on the one hand we wanted to really draw out that sense of this nightmare, this never-ending nightmare that goes on and on and on and on, but on the other hand, we kind of needed to get to the point as well, being on social, and getting to the real ask, which was to raise money.
We only had £9,000 investment to do the film, or to do everything, which meant for us it was all about making sure we had a very clever and impactful creative idea that would help us get cut through and get the reach that we really wanted to achieve for Solace. We launched the campaign then with no media budget, but we needed to make sure we got it out there as far as we could. So we posted onto Solace's channels, so across Twitter and across Instagram, and then we used Solace's and our agency's network to push this film out and to get that conversation started.
There were two big influencers that were willing to help, that had really high following, like Charlotte Crosby and Sally Carmen. And once they shared it on their social posts, it definitely helped enhance the conversations and make the campaign more visible.
This campaign did serve a real purpose in terms of showing people that it's not bruises, it's the emotional trauma that women and children, you know, carry around with them for years sometimes if they don't get help.
It's something that stays with you forever. That's a really important point to make, is that domestic abuse is not something you get over, it's something that you learn to live with.
I'm feeling more positive every day, and I've managed to find coping methods myself for my crisis times.
We've built really strong, trusting relationships with women who often remain very marginalised and, you know, very isolated.
Counselling enabled me to feel empowered. I felt like I could sort of reclaim what was going on inside of me, which is just completely vital to being able to live a healthy and happy, functional life.